Proverbs 30:4. Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? And who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell?
Right. What is his son? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? The Heavenly Father doesn't have many names. He has one name, and that name is Yahweh. That name was not given to everybody on the planet Earth. That's the name. That's the name that that he gave to Abraham. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob knew that name, Yahweh. There was a point where he wasn't well known by that name at one point. His name was a secret. That name was only given to the Israelites when the Lord raised Moses to get us up out of Egypt. What's the first thing Moses asked the Lord? What is your name? And he gave Moses the name, Yahweh. That's the name.
Oh, watch the Ten Commandments with Charleston Heston.
They show you that in there.
It has his name engraven in a stone, which, by the way, that's the Paleo-Hebrew.
Right.
Right? That's the pure tongue, which goes back to what we were saying. His name is in Hebrew, and to call on him properly, for him to open his ear to you, you have to speak to him in a Hebrew tongue. Right?
As a matter of fact, in the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, which they were looking for the Ark of the Covenant, the Paleo-Hebrew is in the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's a movie that was done by Steven Spielberg and I believe George Lucas. I think they worked together and did the Indiana Jones movie. I think the Indiana Jones movie was I think it was written by George Lucas, but the director was Steven Spielberg, I believe, for the Indiana Jones. I think it's a property of George Lucas, but I think Steven Spielberg was the director of it. And in it, it showed the Paleo-Hebrew. When he had the staff up and the sunlight came through the staff, and you had the serpents all under there, and the sunlight had shined through, you seen on, if you pause it, when the scene shows the staff, you see that gold staff had Paleo-Hebrew on it.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. With Harrison Ford playing Indiana Jones. And it was dealing with the Nazis were trying to get the Ark of the Covenant. That's what that one was dealing with.
Yeah.
But they show you the actual Paleo-Hebrew in that movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
If you look for, you can find it online, but they have the actual scholars.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we always just say that. Look, the Bible, they have actual Bible scholars. All the producers, they're learned in biblical knowledge, because
that's right.
Many movies are rooted from the Bible, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, for instance. And they hire actual scholars to help them put the movies together. You know,
now, a lot of movies are based off of situations and things that happen in the scriptures, but they'll change up the names. They'll use certain places, just for instance, like Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi, the term Jedi means Yahweh, or the Judites. Jedi means the Judites. Return of the Judites, right? Because when you watch the Star Wars series, which I love watching it, I love watching it since I was a kid. But now that I know about the word, well, the Spirit bless me. I don't know nothing, because the Spirit opened me up to understand that. Let me just say that. Taking credit for me like I'm somebody great. I ain't nobody. I ain't shit. But I go back and I watch them, and I enjoy watching it because I know that the theme behind it. Return of the Jedi is Return of the Judites. Because what happened is the empire, which is the Roman Empire, is based off of what happened to us in 70 AD. When you watch the Star Wars thing, from Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, then you got the prequels, the Phantom Menace, and then you got the Clone Army, and then you got the Revenge of the Sith. The Revenge of the Sith, right, which is the 6th installment of the series, Revenge of the Sith was actually about that's basically 70 AD, how the Romans went into the temple and burnt down the temple. The Jedi temple was destroyed in Revenge of the Sith. The Judites had to do what? Go into exile. Yahweh, had said, look, he said, look, now I will have to go into exile. I have some training for you. He was talking to Obi-Wan. He said, I have some training for you when you're in your exile. The Judites are in exile. That's what Star Wars is about. It's about how the Roman Empire, because it was called the Empire did what? Destroyed the Republic and took down the Jedi. And the Jedi had to flee to all the corners of the universe because the Empire was looking to destroy us. That's our history in the Bible, 70 AD. No, go ahead, not
Got a precept. Like the bishop's going into, which really coincides with history that happened to the Israelites, right? So now this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25, and start at the 12th verse. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance."
Right. Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance. In Revenge of the Sith, that's what it's called. Revenge of the Sith. The Sith, which is you damn Edomites, right? Had to be, that's Rothschild, Senator Palpatine, who became the emperor. Come on, man, that's Lord Rothschild, man. That's Lord Rothschild. That's Lord Rothschild. He turned a Judite to the dark side. That Judite he turned was Anakin Skywalker, who became Darth Vader. Darth Vader is actually German. Darth means, I believe, dark, and Vader is German for father. Darth Vader, dark father. His name was changed to Darth Vader. He's a Judite. When you go into the history of the Roman Empire, it was a Judite named Julius Tiberius Alexander, I think was his name. That was the one under Titus and Vespasian that rode down on Jerusalem to put an end to the Jewish state. Titus and Vespasian were the ones behind it, but it was a nigger that they used to ride down on Jerusalem and bring Jerusalem down. In Revenge of the Sith, how did they bring down the Jedi? They used the Jedi. They used the Jedi, which was Darth Vader. The Roman Empire used Julius Tiberius Alexander, who was a Judite, who hated his own people, and he was on the team with the Romans, with the Edomites, and he rode down on his own people.
So the Buffalo Soldiers.
Here you go. So what we're telling you is that it's loosely all, especially that series is all loosely based off of the history of what happened to the Israelites.
Yeah, it's part of the greatest story ever told.
The greatest, it's part of the great, like Bishop Ayatollah said, it's part of the greatest story ever told. And then what happened? We had to go into exile. We went into exile. Then there was an awakening. In Star Wars, what was that? That was the awakening. Because now Luke Skywalker was the one to bring balance back to the Force. That was basically the awakening of the Jedi. That was the awakening.